Welcome again to Wickerson Studios. My name's Michael Wickerson, and I am just ecstatic right now. And I wanted to give thanks to Junichiro Horikawa's video he just released on the 4th of January, 2021. He has slowed down. I tried to follow his earlier computational videos. I guess with the amount of development he's done and what he's providing on GitHub, you can literally walk into it. And he is providing me with, and I'll just show it here, I'm going to jump into my, actually, I think it's, oh, I can't even remember. I think it's a new section. If I even have it here, it's underneath here. There it is. These two nodes he's provided, and things are starting to come together. I'm starting to realize this is Grasshopper Rhino with C programming into Unity. And you can literally see what's happening. Now, I played around with Fologram, and it's very similar to that. But on Fologram, I was not able to have an unlimited amount of inputs that would play right into AR augmented reality. This is a case where I can bring it in. I'm new to Unity this morning. I mean, I hadn't even opened it. I played a little bit in Unreal Engine, other programs, but just navigating the camera and all this stuff in this user interface is not what I'm used to. So what I did was I went back to my most common script over the last 6 months, which was this literal whirligig that just kind of spins around. And I think I can get it to move. Yeah, there it is. It's basically this. You have a lot of parameters on it. I think it's the most common thing to do. And what I've done is I've taken my script and nested it between the two functions that he has provided, one of which is an input, a slider, and one is will produce a mesh or a brep. So I produced enough sliders here. Now you can go in and you can see how he scripted this, which is amazing because he uses an example to then go through and make a Boolean toggle, which will be my next exercise tonight when I'm done this one. So instead of me having to physically sit here and switch, I can have a toggle switch of a Boolean, which I'm going to do. He doesn't just provide it. You've got to go in there and you want to learn how to script it and translate that one script over. As I pop this one in, you see you've changed your forms. It's as simple as that. And now we're getting into somebody who might want to program but likes the game an awful lot. You provide plugins, which he's willing to do. And all the scripts I've played with over the last 6 months, in Grasshopper can basically be brought out here. I don't care that the kids are making another noise. It doesn't bother me at all. I still have my gene pool going for colors. This script is a little different. He provides it at the end where you can take a look in on how he's written wonderful script. Now, these are, to me, advanced scripts. It's going to take me a while I'm not going to be able to generate them from scratch, but I definitely can get in here. And as I learn Unity, learn how to translate this through his walkthrough into a Boolean toggle as opposed to a number slider. And I'm learning to watch these hour-long videos before attempting to follow along. But everything else is loaded up correctly. So here's what we have: is not only I'm in the Grasshopper window here. I want you to take a look here. So I'm going to maximize on play, play the script, and it should open up. Oh, what happened? I had it on maximize. There it is. I will have to reset it, I believe, in Grasshopper, instantiate it with a button. There it is. It's in my screen, and something has gone wrong. I am way too huge, and I'm off the page. So one thing I've done, not sure what to do here. Well, perhaps I'll have to keep it as a small screen for now until I figure that out. I'm sure it's pretty simple camera angles. But what I've done is gone in here. Maybe I played with it so much and had the camera going, and I just had a little trouble. So let me jump back into that main camera and throw that down so I can bring the form back down into it a little bit. It's a little huge here. There it is. I probably just pushed it over so it's so far on top of it. That's what I did. And I thought that would be my screen. And I'd see it there. I was trying to change the angle. Maybe I reset that. Yes, I did. Maybe I just didn't save it. That's what I did. I had this set very low to about 12 degrees, and then I was able to bring this one down quite a bit and nestle that one up so you could see it. And I thought that would hold when I ran it, but I guess it resets it, which is strange. Needless to say, I've got this one that's huge now, and all my toggles, everything's kind of jumped up big. So sorry, this is a little confusing as I play it again. Maybe I should maximize it on play. Let's see if I can get lucky again. I may have to just hit pause and see what happens. There it is, and there's my form. I'm going to hit pause and try and center this, and we'll keep talking. I am excited, so I'm not going to cut this. Okay, just took me a little bit of working the camera and the canvas. What I have is my original form again that I was able to play with in Grasshopper, but now I can send kind of objects and sculptures. These are pretty basic. This is the count, so if I want to count that up and make more, that's fine. This is my size of form, so if you want large cylinders, if I want small cylinders, I may have to re-instantiate it. I think that's the word for it. But let me just jump into here and see if I can't just do this before I have a Boolean toggle. Um, yeah, I'll stay with the cylinder. May as well do that. It's probably best to do that. So, yes, you still can go in here. You can play a little bit more like a video game. There's the cone height as we change it and make those real long and thin if you want to. That's a nice little shape. It's a little slow. It's a little jumpy what it's doing. The jitter is wonderful because the jitter, if I take it here, it's a very boring object if I drag that right down to this side. And of course, it has a lot of items, so maybe I'll take my count down and it might run faster if I have a single count. Okay, double count. Then my number sliders should work pretty nicely for height. I can bring it up into, I think it's 200 units vertical, but I can put it around 180. You're not seeing the numbers, but I know my script well enough to do that. The spans is kind of like the wing form, how wide out it will go and back in. So it is a kind of modeling video game plug-in for somebody that wants to make this form. So I'm very excited. The cone height, there it is again. I'm going to take that one up pretty high. The jitter is wonderful because if you have everything and you have, like, say, let's do an even number, like there's 3, there's 4, pretty nice. It's understandable. You can't navigate it the same because you have a camera angle because you're making a video game. You want people playing it from a certain angle. The size of the forms I can make a lot bigger in the radius because that's just tied to the, that's a little big for the, obviously, the height of the cylinders. So I might take the cone height. I'm not sure why I called it cone. It's certainly a cylinder, maybe because I was thinking of using that. So the jitter is really a nice item that if you go here and if I pull the height down real low, the cone, let's call it cylinder height and make it nice and flat like a coin. And then we can bring up the height of all that. There's a jitter factor on everything. And even though I jittered everything differently, I think this is kind of fun. So let's pop it up to a jitter. You're not getting the snapping tools, but you can see the effects of that. I actually like cone height even less. Bring it down even farther so they're really like coins, kind of playing around in the shape. And we can bring up that the spans, the numbers slider. I didn't change the name of this, but you have to go back in the Grasshopper to change it if you want to do something else. So if you went back in and reset anything and wanted to change it, you could do that. But you're not playing in the Rhino window anymore. You're playing in Unity with the geometries that you're making. So I'm going back to my number one script. It's pretty simple. It's this one that I started promoting way back when I did the intro to my Grasshopper definitions. So that's wonderful to see that and playful and see the amount of hits I was getting on that. I've since then had more hits when it comes to dealing with Python, but I am very excited about this. I'm into Unity. My scripts have a place now, and I'm understanding them, and I'm able to, very similar to what I learned in the app for Phologram, to put things in the augmented reality. This might move towards the Oculus and VR before I'm done. So extremely excited about this. I am going to make those forms just a little tinier. I'm not sure why I had the number of forms is how many is in that kind of helix as it goes up and spins around. What I'm going to do is just bring this right up, take the jitter down so you can see the base form of what's happening and max out everything. So you see kind of what I was playing on. Here's the cone height that's going to intrude on itself. It's going to kind of go through a Boolean union, make this kind of congested form. Once again, it's the angle. And of course, I could start to take these angles through different movies and different movement. I can have pieces play off of other pieces. So all this creativity is coming into my mind. And yet I'm going back to the spans is max, the numbers max. If we take the count up max to 10, it's going to have, I think that's the default. So you have this nice form like this. The color code that I have on it's pretty simple. I just did a gene pool that took like 100 or some odd items, and then let's just get rid of that. Yeah, I think that's what I did over here for the colors is I popped in the gene pool to handle like a ton of different colors. And of course, if you want to change the color, you just do a random array, and then everything should kind of shift. There you go. So I've got some ability to still do things. I'm not going to try and plug in a gene pool structure into this form, but now I can think of each of my scripts as a kind of video game play. And it's because I've not been scared to go in and get my mind around C Sharp, and Unity is based in C Sharp, and Junichiro Horikawa is definitely getting ready for a major plugin to produce as many of these as possible. Like I said, I'm going to follow him. I'm going to just try and stay up, even though I know he's light years ahead of me. But what he was doing 2 years ago, I hadn't even begun scripting or coding in any fashion. So it's a real fast pace to try and catch up. I hope other people are definitely interested in this. I know ARA Jewelers is like, well, wouldn't this be interesting? People could build their own jewelry in Unity. That's definitely possible. Actually, I like my height down. I shouldn't be jostling it up. There's a lot of forms here, so it's moving a little slow. I definitely have to be a little more reasonable with what I'm doing. Let's take this count down to 2, because that's kind of a nice little form that plays off of itself like this. There we go. And I'm not getting the color range because there's not enough items to do that. Maybe 3. I'm just guessing at 3, and there it is. There, you've got some nice colors there, and I think odd's a little better. It's a little jumpy trying to get in there. It's a nice little form. I don't know what else to say, except I'm really excited. Oh, and I wanted to jazz the jitter up full, and then you see that the whole object just kind of obliterates itself and goes into its own chaos. Now, these are not objects to take to print. These are objects to take to VR, to gaming, to somebody to interface with them. So, we start putting in some iterations and some recursive functions and C scripts. This is going to get real hairy real fast. Very excited about it. So 11.5 minutes. I hope you stuck through the video. I'm just rambling, but I'm dreadfully excited.